weeks now, children have found something sweet left mysteriously on their windowsill, each piece wrapped in promise, too tempting to resist. But these treats came with whispers, stories of children who vanished without a trace, of a woman with a sinister smile who lured them away. Some called her the Candy Lady, but others dared not call her anything at all.
Back to the Cracking Cans podcast, where we talk about all things cryptid, all things urban legends, and all things spooky.
Spooky!
And tonight, we got one that Crack Daddy over here is going to be going over with you guys. And I got a lot of questions because the only thing I keep thinking about is the Candy Man.
Yeah, like the movie.
The movie, and then also that
Willy
true
Wonka.
crime. No, the true crime that we went over in the Halloween episode.
Oh, yeah.
Where I used to poison the pixie sticks.
Yeah, and I think we get into that a little bit later on in the episode. But
because that happened, I think that was in Texas.
It was in Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
But after the Candy Lady.
After this one,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so this one's going to take place late 1800s, early 1900s. So we're going back a little bit. And I think, what was that? That one was that was definitely more recent, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say 70s, so maybe 60s.
60s, 70s, somewhere in there.
Sense.
Yeah.
If you want to know what we're talking about, go check out our Halloween episode. That's not on our board as I looked up at the folklore scoreboard.
Yeah, it's not up there.
No, it's not up there. But yeah, getting away from Halloween, but we're staying with candy.
I like candy.
Yeah, I like candy.
I got my candy socks on for this one.
I saw that. Let's see your Tootsie Roll. Oh.
If you had these socks, you'd be playing with your Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, I might. I stepped in. I had my Crocs on, and when I got into your driveway, I stepped right in a puddle. It was just pissed me off immediately. My socks soaking wet. Just ruined. My whole night's ruined as soon as I stepped out of my car. It's going to affect the whole recording of the night.
It's better than stepping in a pile of shit, though. Dog shit with Crocs.
Yeah, but I very well could have, too. It was dark. I don't know if I did
mean, if
or
it
not.
was Sully's, too, upstairs, you'd be done.
Yeah, he's large. Or Dale's, even though he's a cat.
Yeah, he's indoors, but if he snuck out and left one outside,
and I feel like he would. He likes me. He knows where I park.
Yeah, he knows right where you step.
Yeah. So we have a beer that I know is not going to be your favorite, Corey. Because it's a sour.
It's our first, and hopefully last, sour.
Yeah, it was hard. I know you don't like sour, so I didn't want to get a sour. But this one, it was hard not to do it.
I mean,
because it was kind of perfect.
It's perfect. I could take one for the team.
Yeah, so today we have Tart Patch Kids, which is a sour candy-inspired ale from Rusty Rail Brewing Company. So Rusty Rail Brewing Company is one of the state's largest craft breweries with a family of over 140 passionate employees dedicated to creating not just exceptional beers, but unforgettable experience. And fun fact, I got married at Rusty Rail Brewing Company.
Ooh.
That's right. And you know what? You spend all that money there, then they give you like a $50 gift card for your anniversary. So that's cool.
Ooh.
It's like
you spend like $10,000.
It's like you're playing the stock market, and after a year you kind of just lost. Here's your return on investment, $50. plus love.
That's like at work, and instead of getting a bonus, they're like, "Hey, here's pizza."
Yeah, or
here's pizza pie.
The jelly of the month club, like in Christmas Vacation. Yeah. What else to say here? Lively weddings and corporate gatherings. Or cozy stay. That place is beautiful, though.
Nice. It's gorgeous.
It's
the
so
woodwork
cool.
and stuff inside there, like.
Yeah, for our wedding we stayed because they have rooms there, and the rooms are just they are ungodly priced, like $400 a night, but they're just like huge vault ceilings. They have just huge walk-in showers and stuff. It was super nice, and I mean for the wedding day, I feel like you got to do it. But as far as the beer goes, I said Tart Patch Kids. It's got little Sour Patch Kids all over the can, which is kind of cool. It's an ale with lemon, lime, cherry, and natural flavors. So, and the reason I picked this one for the episode, I think, is kind of a little bit obvious. It's got Sour Patch Candy Kids on it. And really, when you go to the Candy Lady, I think she's kind of sour.
She tastes sour?
Well, she's like the opposite of a Sour Patch Kid. Sour Patch Kids, first they're sour, then they're sweet.
Yeah.
First she's sweet, and then she's sour.
Ooh, so it's like if you take a Sour Patch Kid and like turn it inside out.
Yeah, it's like you eat it from the middle.
Yeah.
I do that all the time with my Sour Patch Kids. I eat them from the middle.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. So cheers. You just take one sip.
Cheers. I haven't had a sip yet, folks.
Hasn't had a sip.
First.
So Corey looked at me and he said, "Yep, I'm going to start not drinking my beer beforehand, and I'm not going to touch this one." And it's like, yeah, you're only doing that because you don't like sours. Like you're acting like you're a huge martyr. Like I'm going to show the biggest self-control you ever saw. And then it's just because he doesn't like it. That doesn't count then, does it? I guess so. I'll give it to you. Oh, it's also a 5%er, so. A little bit on the lower end for us.
And we're going to be doing a Rusty Rail beer next week. Fun fact. Well, next episode.
Episode. It'll be next week.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. As long as my fat ass does the editing, it'll be next week. So here, cheers. Clink. I like it. I don't think it's super duper sour. It's got the sour bite at the end.
I don't think that's not too bad of a sour.
No. Seems like that's more of the thing is like a lot of the newer sours I have are less sour than they were like 3 years ago or whatever when sour started getting really popular.
Yeah.
They were just like, let's see how sour we can get.
Yeah.
Now it's like, let's see how we can make them nice and mellow and just taste good.
This isn't bad.
No. Yeah, his face says it all.
It's not bad, but
it's not bad. It's not good though, is it?
It's not my pint of beer.
That's right. It's not his pint of beer. And with that, are you ready to hear about the legend of the Candy Lady?
Oh, absolutely. Let's go. All right, so let's get into the origin, the legend, the history of, what's her name?
The Candy Lady.
The Candy Lady.
Literally couldn't be any more simple, I don't think. What's her name again?
The Candy Lady.
The Candy Lady. All right. So this legend starts in a small town in Texas around 1903. And this is kind of like, goes back to the Hookman where there's not a town that it takes place in. It's just an area.
Yeah.
Small town in Texas.
Why is there so much shit that happens in Texas?
It's huge. And there's a lot of like desolate area, I think. You know what I mean? You hit just long stretches of highway where there's not a lot going on.
I feel like there's no laws in Texas either. It's like just the wild, wild west. Everybody just...
Well, especially back, 100, 200 years ago.
I mean, even today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Besides, now everybody's just going to Austin and trying to make Austin the cool hip place,
Yeah.
But in the small town, kids started to go missing in the middle of the night. Parents would wake up, go into their kid's room, and their child would just be gone with nothing more than an open window and a candy wrapper left behind.
So what kind of makeshift tooth fairy shit is this?
Oh, it is. It's interesting because it's not like she shows up one day and just takes a kid. She works on it for a while. You know what I mean? There's like a comfort level that she gets with these kids.
It's even like a tooth. You work on it for a while until it pops out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But she's not even sneaking into the room. She's getting the kids to leave the room, which is kind of interesting in the way of, is this like some kind of paranormal entity. We'll get into that.
Or a witch.
We'll get into that.
Ooh.
Yeah. So as the younger children in the town continued to go missing, none of the adults could figure out anything or really any clues as to what's going on. It wasn't until some of the younger kids started to get older, now these are the kids that didn't go missing, that they eventually told their parents that when they would wake up in the morning, they would look out on their windowsill and there would set a fresh piece of candy every morning for them.
Every morning.
Every morning. So they'd open up their windowsill, take the and of course they don't want to tell their parents because their parents would be like, what the hell you just eating a random ass piece of candy you found for?
So this was going on for a while before she would take them. She's like, like grooming them or something.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
So many of the children would eagerly await for the morning to get their candy, but after a while, the candy would start coming with a message. The message seemed harmless, but it would say to come outside and play. And the wrappers were always signed the Candy Lady. I think the simplicity of her name is freaky too. Just the Candy Lady, you know. It's not like you go like the Boo Hag. Yeah. Well, that's kind of scary, or the Hook Man. It's just the Candy Lady.
Yeah, it's not like Geneva
Witnesses.
Leva.
Geneva Leva. You gotta watch her.
Yeah.
Because she'll leave you dead.
Yeah, leaving the candy though. So.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Now over the next decade, kids in the small town would start to go missing, and most were never found. Really, there were only 2 pieces of evidence found, were the candy wrappers left behind, and something much more sinister. It all started when there was a local farmer working in a field, and something caught his attention. So what do you think could catch a farmer's attention when he's working in a field?
Some titties.
Some titties. That's what it was. There's just titties everywhere.
No, all right.
I mean, it would, yeah. It would get his attention, yeah.
A UFO.
A UFO, yeah. I could see that. It would get somebody's attention.
Somebody crashing their horse and buggy.
Horse and buggy, yeah. We're in that time period, yeah.
A house catching on fire.
Right, yep. I like all these answers.
Maybe a kid screaming really loud.
That would definitely do it, yeah.
Depending on what type of equipment they were on, they might
Which are probably horses.
Yeah, they might not have heard it. I don't know. Could be a lot of neighing going on.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Much smaller than that is what caught his attention.
The flash of a candy wrapper.
The flash of a candy wrapper is what caught his attention.
Shut up.
I swear to God,
Shut up.
You are actually right for once.
I hate you.
You are actually right for once.
Shit.
The farmer got off, bent down, and picked up a candy wrapper. Way out in his field, which struck him as totally odd, as to, like, there's not that many candy wrappers around back in these days. You know what I mean?
People picked up their trash, unlike today.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe the wind blew it there, or some kids snuck off and had some candy for fun. But when he opened the wrapper, he found something totally bizarre. The wrapper was filled with teeth. Which goes back to your tooth fairy theory, I guess, in a weird, twisted way.
Wow.
The teeth of what looked to be from a small child, they weren't big enough to be full adult teeth. They were just like tiny little teeth in this. So the farmer phoned the local sheriff, who had happened to be the officer that had been working the case, and he took the evidence back to the station. He'd been working the case for a couple years now, and any evidence that he could get at this point was better than nothing. Because really, like, this dude had nothing.
So he was working on his case already before this farmer brought him this.
Yeah, because all these kids have been going missing for like a couple years by this point.
Okay.
So he was working the case. So you have a really small town, missing kids, teeth, and really one officer working the case. This is the early 1900s. So what would make this story just like slightly just wilder?
Slightly wilder?
Yeah.
The officer started getting candy at his house?
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be awesome. A root beer. No, they actually got a report of a man murdered in a ditch.
Yeah, but that could have just been some random dude, right?
It could have been. The man was stabbed in the eyes with forks. Repeatedly stabbed in the eyes with forks. With candy stuffed in all his pockets. That man, the local sheriff that was working this case. And that is the legend behind the Candy Lady. So, I mean, not like that's the story.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, hold on. Before you dig in more, I'm just trying to think about the story you just went over, and I'm thinking about first the farmer. And I guess, like you said back then, it might have been rare to find a piece of candy wrapper or whatever, but I'm just thinking nowadays, I mean, we see trash outside all the time and I don't think twice about it.
Yeah, but there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more wrappers and stuff like that now. They didn't kind of have the
mass produced
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I do think it's just super random that this candy wrapper just caught his eye.
Yeah.
That's the way they made it sound in the stories, at least.
Yeah. All right. Just go ahead.
Yeah. The part where the part that got me was just that the officers' pockets were just filled with candy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. It's it was just because when I read it, it's that the same thing as you. That could be anybody did that. It's oh, nope, stuff with candy. Definitely him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stabbed in the eyes, not just stabbed in the eyes, but just repeatedly stabbed in the eyes by forks. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Interesting.
But then we dive into who was the candy lady.
Who?
Because there is one theory of who she actually was.
Do I get to guess?
I mean, yeah, if you can just guess a random name.
I was just going to say, all right, I don't know.
No, just pick a go ahead, pick a random name.
Doris Hemingway.
You son of a bitch. No. Clara Crane was the woman. What'd you Doris Hemingway?
Yeah.
I like it. I don't think that was far off. So the backstory with Clara Crane is quite interesting. See, when she was younger, she married a man that was much older. The way I took it is she was 12 or 13. This dude was 30. We're in the
Leonardo DiCaprio, folks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're in the 1800s farm country.
Yeah.
Her dad probably got a horse or something and a good a solid trade for this. So when she was younger, she married a much older man by the name of Leonard Gilmore Crane, who was a farmer in the small town of Terrell, Texas. So Terrell, Texas is a smaller town located just east of Dallas with around 1,700 people today, or 17,000 people today, I'm sorry. It was primarily a railroad and farm town back in the day, and it was also a sundown town. You know what a sundown town is? Because I didn't, and I had to look it up.
Isn't that with people who have Alzheimer's and dementia?
That's sundowners.
Yeah. Does it have anything to do with that?
No.
Okay.
It's a solid guess, though.
I thought just everybody in the town just started going crazy.
Just everybody, as soon as the sun goes down, they're all who the hell are you? To all their neighbors.
Yeah.
No, so basically this town is white. Sundown towns.
The people are white? Or they paint everything white?
In sundown towns, African Americans were not
welcome
into sundown towns.
Sundown towns.
Which I didn't know that.
Are you going to go over why it's called sundown town?
No.
You didn't look that up?
Nope.
Oh, why not?
Didn't care.
Okay.
I had other stuff.
You're always attacking me about it.
Nope. Didn't care.
All right.
Because when the sun goes down, the blacks better stay out. That's what I heard. As far as I know, that's what it is. Also, because African Americans suffer from Alzheimer's quite a lot. So, anywho, back to the Cranes. So they had one child, a girl named Marcella. She was the apple of her mother's eye. So I had to look up what that saying meant when I said it. It's that's weird. But I feel that's a real. I wrote that down, apple of his mother's eye, and I'm what the hell does that mean? But don't worry, I did look that up.
What's it mean?
The phrase "apple of her eye" is an old idiom that holds a special place in the English language and literature. It refers to the tiny reflection of yourself that you can see in the other people's pupils, and to be the apple in someone's eye means that you are being focused on and watched closely by that person. The phrase often conveys a sense of pride. The term comes from the ancient concept of the eye's pupil was a solid apple-shaped body, and, being essential to sight, was precious. So now
you're
you
the
know.
Turd. You're the turd in my eye.
You're the turd that I pooed out this morning. So, with Marcella being the apple of her mother's eye, I'm trying to educate you today, Corey.
All right.
School is in session today. I don't even know why I looked that up, but I just I don't know.
But you didn't look up the sundown town.
I did too look up what a sundown town was. I just didn't know why it's called that. Because when the sun goes down, your ass better not be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Marcella was adored by her mother. One morning, she was playing in the field when an unfortunate accident happened. She found a candy wrapper full of teeth. No, that didn't really happen.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah,
that's not
like,
it, no. One morning, she was playing in a field when an unfortunate accident led to Marcella's death. None of the stories get into what caused her death, but they say it was an accident involving the father farming. When Clara got there in her grief, she hugged her husband, and the first thing that she smelled was alcohol on her husband's breath. When she,
Ooh.
from that moment on, she blamed him for the daughter's death, and she absolutely despised him for what he did to her precious Marcella. So after 2 years in total anger with him, she finally hatched a plan. She knew that Leonard loved nothing more than his caramel candies.
She gonna poison the shit out of them.
That's right. He would come home from the field and every evening crack one of them babies open and have
Did
them.
she use cyanide?
It didn't say what poison.
Because I'm just trying to see if it relates with the Candy Man, because Candy Man used cyanide.
Yeah, it did not. I did look up, like, none of the sources, because I did use 2 sources for most of the information. Only in yourstate.com and huntingjaunts.net.
What is it?
Hunting Jaunts.
Hunting Johns?
Nope, Haunting Jaunts.
Oh, Haunting Johns.
Damn it.
They said Hunting Johns.
Well, it's crazy. There's a lot of... They go after the pimps. They go after every pimp they can freaking find. So she poisoned him. She poisoned his candies, unwrapping them, placing an unknown poison in them, and rewrapping them all up. That day, he came home from working, popped a few in his mouth, and before he knew it, he was dead. That's right. He woke up dead.
How could you wake up dead?
That's right. That's right. But he did. He woke up dead. So the next day, a neighbor came by to check on how she was doing. This neighbor would usually check on her every couple of days because he knew how hard she was struggling with the loss of her beautiful daughter. And when she answered the door, she was in a total state of craziness. Shaking and in a frenzy, the neighbor came into the house and saw Leonard laying on the floor. Calling the local police, Clara was taken into custody, eventually convicted of murder, but she wasn't sent to prison. No, she was sent to the North Texas Lunatic Asylum.
That's what I was going to guess. Not that specific one, but...
And their stories, so in some of the stories, it actually says that during their court hearing, she had it out with the local sheriff. Like, they got into
like
heated
verbal,
exchanges. Yes. Which would make sense why a sheriff would get stabbed in the eyes with forks multiple times. Just saying. But.
So, was this, I'm just trying to follow along, was this before? Like the story you went over with the sheriff, this was before that, okay.
Yeah, so the Candy Lady started that took place around 1903 is when the Candy Lady kind of showed up in these towns.
And you said this was like 1800s, right?
Yeah, so right around like 1895, 1896 is when. So it's not super far from when these all happen.
So this bitch got crazy, then she escaped from this place.
Well, and two, if she wasn't like all the way crazy, man, you go to these lunatic asylums back in the day, you're just gonna get all the way there. Like those places are just insane.
You're immediately getting a lobotomy.
Yeah. Her stay there wasn't long, and really there's not much to say about it, except that the staff said she was always walking around with her doll named Marcella, along with a pocket full of candies that she would offer to staff members and patients. And because of overcrowding in 1899, she was released. I think it was something like she spent like 2 years there. That's
2
all.
years.
Like 2 to 3 years is all she spent in this asylum. Her sentence was nothing. Well, with overcrowding and stuff.
That's still enough to mess you up, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. It's enough to mess you up, but it's definitely not enough for murdering your husband. You know what I mean? So the legend has it that not long after this is when the children of the town started going missing. So was she the culprit? Or
why, if she was so messed up from losing her daughter, why would she be going after kids?
If I had to think, I would think there'd be two ways. One, she would be jealous that other people had kids after she lost hers. The second one I would think is that she kidnaps these kids in hopes that she can replace Marcella. But obviously the kids are going to fight back because who the hell are you? Just some random lady that just took them out of their house. And because of that, in a fit of rage, she would just kill them.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That would be I think that would be the most plausible things if she did take them.
I think so.
But yeah, so is it her or is it something much more sinister waiting outside at night in Texas?
So we heard about the candy lady and this, what was her first name?
Clara
Crane.
Yeah.
And how she went insane.
Supposedly.
I like
saying, yeah. I like throwing the B in supposedly.
So I guess, are you going to get into like how this whole urban legend started?
Well, I guess maybe not how they got started, but where it came from. And I think it's the place where like most urban legends came from. A lot of the things with this reminded me a lot of the Hookman, where the Hookman was more, I guess, went towards teenagers and stuff like that, and like, you know, like sex and, you know, don't have sex, don't do this, don't do that. I feel like this one,
stranger danger.
This one's more stranger danger. Yeah, don't accept candy from some random ass lady that just sets it on your windowsill when she's probably watching you sleep.
Yeah,
more than likely.
And then like I'm just thinking about like today, like how this evolved to today. Like nowadays, you're like, or even when we were growing up, it's like, you know, if you see a guy in like a white van, trying to give you candy, like run away or whatever.
Here's the thing, and here's how I always looked at it as a kid. If there's going to be a guy in a van that was going to offer me candy, I'm at least going to make him show me the candy first.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times these guys, they're bluffing. You got to call them out on their bluff and they drive away. If they show me the candy,
it also depends what kind of candy they got.
Yeah.
If they got some shitty candy, like I ain't going near you.
Yeah. Are you a Twizzler guy?
I dabble in them sometimes.
Yeah, but like if they just said like I got like 3 bags of Twizzlers,
that would be my first choice.
Yeah, I'm probably not getting in a van for Twizzlers.
Jimmy down here, he likes his Twizzlers.
Yeah, I'd send him to Corey's house.
Yeah,
he's got a fine behind to go find him. Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely you got to offer some good candy.
Yeah, not the cheap shit.
No. So a lot of it is just what you said, a moral warning used by parents to caution the children from accepting things from strangers. And I'll kind of get into this story later, but it's almost like the Hansel and Gretel story in a way. And I have a whole section where we dabble into the comparisons to the Candy Lady and Hansel and Gretel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's when you bring the witch kind of stuff into it, right?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Also, this could be just a way of something serious was happening in this town. You know, there was some kind of predator that was just out there getting children. And in a way, it's almost easier to blame something like the Candy Lady than actually solving a crime.
What if it was like what if it was a guy?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Like, and it'd be perfect. Like,
yeah.
If I'm him, I'm starting the rumor of the Candy Lady.
You know, they're not looking for a dude; they're gonna look for a girl or lady. Hell yeah!
Hey, you go out there at night every like once a week and just throw a couple like candy bars on random windowsills and sign them the Candy Lady, and it's like I'm golden.
Yeah,
they're gonna look for some big bearded bastard in Crocs right now. They're gonna go look for the Candy Lady
with wet socks.
One wet sock, which is worse than both of them, I think. So yeah, that would be like the unknown disappearances passed off as legends. Folklore establishment over time, and this like the small incidents such as superstition about like a recluse individual might be exaggerated into something like the Candy Lady. So I just think of like that weird lady down the street that, you know, maybe just offers people caramels, but after a while it just morphs into like she's just not this like strange old lady. She's a weird psycho who lives down there, you know.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the fact that if there was, even not in your town but a couple towns over, some lady that poisoned her husband with candy, I feel like you would really just start to wonder about all these other older women that just hand out candy. But also, there could be a supernatural influence to it all, which we can't totally rule it out. I mean, I'm not totally sure why it would be, but so it'd be something like a malevolent force preying on the vulnerability of children in the town, and like you said earlier, we could also be looking at a witch, some kind of witch that needs burned. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I don't know. I watched Hocus Pocus, so I know they like to collect children to make themselves young. Besides that, I don't really know why witches need children.
Well, like some of them cut them up and put them in their stew.
Oh,
their
yeah,
brew.
that makes it. I bet you you can make some good like pudding out of a kid, like some blood pudding.
I need to know more about you because you keep talking about eating kids. And
No, you don't. You never looked at a kid and you just thought, "Damn, that kid be tasty." Don't say you didn't.
No.
Yeah, don't say you didn't, because I ain't believing that.
My wife and I don't know if I should bring this up. Yeah, we'll bring it up. Screw it.
They ate a baby at their honeymoon to keep them forever young.
Yeah, that was in Dominican Republic. So no, but like
International waters.
Yeah, we're not allowed to go back there. But anyway,
just say it, and I'll take it out if you want me to after the fact.
It's not really that bad.
Okay.
Like, all right, would you ever try human?
It depends on what kind. Like Mexican, no, probably not.
Too spicy.
There's a lot of dust down there. I feel like that would eventually just get in the skin. We're talking about. I bet you like somebody from like Maine would be tasty, because they would have some good marbling, I think, to them to keep them warm.
They eat a lot of lobsters up there too, so
yeah,
might get a little bit of that lobster seafood
butter, a lot of butter taste,
butter into it.
Would you try human?
Yeah, I think I would.
They said you got to watch because it'll like mess with your brain or something. There's some kind of chemistry within human meat.
I don't think I would just go out and do. Like, I think if like my life depended on it, I think I would.
Well, that's different. I'd eat a Mexican then for sure. But
no, but like I've brought it up before to her, and she like thinks I'm like psycho.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Now, if we were talking if I would ever eat a kid, like a small kid, hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. So,
Stop.
So on to the next section where my wife hears this and just spazzes out on me. She's still like 30 episodes behind. We're good. She's in single digit episodes yet. We're on 21, so we're good. So I kind of made it. I created a sheet of how I would think that the candy lady would approach these windowsills, by what candy she would place on the windowsills. So, and I kind of have a theory behind it, and you can throw into the theory too if you want to.
Oh, absolutely.
So my biggest thing is the first candy I feel like has to be something that is going to make a kid feel comfortable. What more than a butterscotch hard candy? Because this is classic, and most people think of grandparents or older adults, which makes them feel a sense of comfort, which would let them unassumingly eat the candy and start to want to become maybe a little closer to whoever's giving them this candy. I also think you could throw like a lollipop in like that. But I also think when it comes to a lollipop that you could do stuff much more sinister with a lollipop. Like what if you just like what if you just made a lollipop, but instead of a stick, it was just like on the end of a razor blade? So kids just didn't realize it, and they just licked it, and it's like, oh no, I just cut my tongue off, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so I think that could be maybe Candy Lady-esque.
Yeah, you could hide a lot in a lollipop.
Yeah. And I think she would move from the butterscotch to maybe like some homemade candies, because I think it'd be easier to sneak some stuff into some homemade candies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you keep it tasting good at first, and maybe you can figure out what the kids like and don't like.
I don't know what kind of candies were around back then.
Yeah, I don't either. So I guess we could use it more of like a nowadays. Like I ain't getting these kids too good at candy though, because I'm gonna eat them.
Yeah, it's gonna be gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat them.
I'll be walking over to that house just like putting a little piece of candy in my mouth, and by the time I get there, like that shit's gone. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, the good candy's gone.
Yeah, and I weigh 300 pounds, so I can't like chase a kid anymore if they run away from me.
Yeah.
So yeah, homemade candy. These would seem like an innocent and thoughtful gift, but as we talked about in the Halloween episode, there could be deadly consequences from deadly ingredients.
Death.
Yep. And staples. That was like, I liked in that story how he stapled them with like a staple gun shot. It's like we are dealing with just some diabolical genius right now. Yeah. And the last one I think would be like the last day. If I was trying to get him out of their house, I would give him a jawbreaker, like one of the bigger jawbreakers too, because they just shove that in their mouth and it's going to keep them quiet for a good amount of time while I'm just gradually taking them away from their house into the woods to eat them. I guess, or whatever she does with them. I'm not totally sure if she eats them or not. What do you think she does?
When she takes them?
Yeah. I think we talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Kind of assume she tries to replace her daughter, I guess.
Yeah, and I think, like, you know, when they try to fight him back and stuff, that's when she
just chops their freaking head off.
Backhands them.
Backhands them, yeah.
Many, many, many times.
Yeah.
And then they gone.
They gone.
And then does she eat them? I don't know. Or does she just bury them out back somewhere? Throw them in the local river?
Nobody knows because nobody ever found these kids that went missing. So she definitely eats them.
Maybe she got some pigs.
Ooh, I know how you like that. You're into that. You're into killing people and feeding them to pigs. Would you eat pork that was human fed? I think I'd be more into a pork that was like tasty cake fed.
Yeah.
Human fed.
Or like Middlesworth barbecue chips fed.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. I do like tater chips.
Yeah.
So, Corey, with all this talk of candy, I had an idea. What if we did a little competition for our top 3 candies?
Yeah.
Top 3 candies. I know I kind of texted you this idea. You asked me what the rules were, and really there are no rules. Within reason. I think most candies are candies. Cookies are not candy.
No, cookies aren't candy.
Yeah, like you can't say like Oreos. That wouldn't work.
No, that's not candy.
But yeah.
Like chocolates are candy, like chewable things are candy.
Chewable things, yeah.
I guess.
What the hell's a chewable thing?
I guess that's anything.
Like, I really like to eat. I just eat a whole bottle of the Flintstone vitamins. They taste delicious.
I like me some Tums.
Yeah, Tums. Dude, I had like 2 Tums before I came tonight. I swear, my wife is like poisoning me in the way of if I tell her like, hey, I'm going over to Corey's tonight. We're going to record the cast. She's like, cool. I have something for dinner that's going to give you indigestion every time.
And then she poisons the Tums because she knows you're going to go into them.
Yes, she knows. And then she'll always do that. And then I'm grabbing a Tums before I leave, and she's just like, "What do you need that for?" And it's like, I'm just prepping because I know like my belly's already not feeling the best. So yeah, top 3 candies. You got your list? Or do you need a second? You want to take a beer break before we go?
Take a beer break.
Beer break.
It's beer break time. Crack a cold one, fill your cup, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
All right, we're back from the beer break, diving right into our candy top 3. And I won the coin toss that I did in the car before I came in here, and I won, and I'm doing the first choice. Ooh. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so this is like my favorite candy ever. I went to Gertrude Hawk, and I chose milk chocolate peanut butter smidgens from Gertrude Hawk.
Dude, I didn't have it on my list. That's good. That's a banger.
That's a banger. Like that. Dude, when I get those for credit, I actually ask people to stop.
I hide them.
I ask people to stop from myself. I hide them from myself.
Yeah.
I ask people to stop getting those for me for Christmas because they're too freaking good.
Yeah.
And I would just devour an entire box.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, that's it. That's my number 1. I might just drop the mic and walk off. I'm only having one. Conceding my next 2 picks.
All right. That's a good pick. That's a damn good pick. All right. I'm gonna go with Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
That was my number 2. So, I was debating. I almost took the smidgens and put them at the bottom because I thought it would be something you didn't think of.
I didn't until right now.
And I was gonna put them at 3.
Damn.
But I also did that with Team Rocket in our last one we did, and you picked them at 3, and it bothered the hell out of me because I really wanted them bad. So, my number 2 choice is the old classic, and it's got to be a full-size bar of these ones because I feel like the small ones aren't the same. Full-size.
Go big or go home.
Snickers.
Okay.
Just a
they
straight
were on
up
my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like my number 3.
Yeah. Are you feeling hungry? Grab a Snickers. That's what it is.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one.
When I'm not myself, I need that big.
It wasn't my number 2 though.
The small ones aren't the same though as
They're
Snickers.
not the same. They're missing
They're just the chocolate to everything else
the
ratio.
ratio's all effed up. All right. Number 2, I'm going Kit Kat.
Kit Kat. And see, Kit Kats were something for a long time. I could take it or leave it. But in the past couple years, you know what my favorite Kit Kats are?
I like the white chocolate.
Yes,
ones.
the
Yeah,
white chocolate
yeah.
ones, because you get them at Halloween and they're
Yeah.
like spooky fingers or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
They
I
call them
like
something weird.
I sit in the corner
yeah.
of the living room. I'm just like,
Yes, white chocolate
Yeah,
Kit Kats are
they
the
are.
way to go for sure. So my third pick is white chocolate Kit Kats. No, I'm just kidding. This one's a little bit off the wall, and this is one I don't. It's like I don't know how much I like it until I have one. But you better not lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
oh,
like-
I had that on my list of worst picks.
I like Butterfingers.
Oh.
I like how I can
Barf.
pick them out of my teeth for like 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, barf! I throw them in the trash.
I like Butterfingers.
All right, so you took Butterfinger. That wasn't even, that was on my worst list. Like that wasn't even on my radar. So that's good.
They're like, I feel like they're like you love them or hate them. There's no in between on those.
I'm gonna mix it up here since I picked chocolate. I'm gonna mix it up here, and I'm kind of debating right now what I want to do. But I'm gonna go for my number 3. I'm gonna go Swedish Fish.
Swedish Fish. I had a horrible experience with Swedish Fish when I was younger.
I choked on one when I was younger. My mom had to give me like the Heimlich.
Yeah, well, that's because you eat stuff whole.
No, that might have been licorice. I don't know.
That might have been a hot dog. You can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It was something I chewed up.
No, so when I was a kid, like I can eat Swedish Fish now, but I couldn't eat them for like 10 years of my life. When I was like 5 years old, my mom fell asleep on the couch, and I just ate an entire bag of Swedish Fish. We went to the local.
We're talking like a big bag too.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
bag.
yeah.
Went to got ice cream like an hour or two after that, and before I made it home, I just barfed all these Swedish Fish all over the back seat. Taco Bell, I couldn't eat Taco Bell for a long time because I got sick off it like the first time I ever had it.
I've never
too.
been like a huge fan of Taco Bell. Like
I
get it every
love
now and
Taco
then,
Bell.
but-
It doesn't give me
good.
poops. It gives other people poops. It doesn't give me poops.
Because all those Mexicans you eat, you built that immunity.
No, I don't like Mexicans. They're dusty.
Oh yeah. But if you had to, you would.
Well, yeah, if it was survival situation, you changed the game when you said survival situation.
Yeah.
I still want to eat a Puerto Rican. So that brings me on to my last story.
Hold on.
My last
I want to hear
comparison.
your honorable mention candies, quick.
Honorable mention?
Do you have any honorable mentions?
Ooh, let me think. I actually only picked 4 because I knew you weren't going to pick Smidgen, so I thought I could get away with the other 2. Mentions.
I should have picked my favorite candy of all time, but I didn't.
What's your? Why would? What?
Fast break
Fast break. What's
and Take 5.
the Take 5s are all right.
No, the fast breaks. The Reese's fast breaks.
They're all right.
No, they're not all right.
I like the Reese's that have the Reese's Pieces in them. Do you ever have them?
Yeah, the Reese's cups. With
Yeah.
the Reese's pieces.
Yeah.
No, I had peppermint patties as my honorable mention.
Barf. They're sorry.
No,
I don't
no.
like my chocolate with toothpaste. My bad.
No, they're good.
Disgusting. They are my number one.
All right, Buttercrotch.
Most disgusting, absolutely garbage.
And you
piece-
like fucking buttercrotch.
Do you like chocolate covered toothpaste?
Hold on, actually, no. I thought of this thing. All right, because you said
All right.
whatever. Listen, this is going to decide if we remain friends or not.
Gosh, I hope that we have different opinions on this, and this cast can
So-
end after this episode.
How do you pronounce this word? Do you say caramel or caramel? Caramel or caramel?
How did you say it the first time?
I said it the first time.
Did you throw your F in there? Did you say carfmel?
Caramel.
I say caramel.
All right, me too.
Yeah. I've literally said caramel like
Okay.
6 times in this cast so far.
Yeah, but you
Hold on
could.
a second. Let me go back to this sheet. Let me go back to my sheet here. She poisoned her husband's caramels.
All right, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. Just making sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're
No.
good.
No, I'm
If
not.
you said like caramel, I'd think about that. Caramel.
Care meal.
You're gonna start doing it now on purpose just to piss me off.
Anyways. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Whoa. All right, so for my last thing, before we get into the folklore score, I did a little breakdown because I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into comparing how Hansel and Gretel and this legend compare. Because I found it really interesting as like to compare those two. You know, the story of Hansel and Gretel and all that with the candy house and the witch.
They're
and
like
all
in
that.
the woods. They find
Yeah.
the house. They eat the candy. Like they start eating it. And
So-
stuff, and yeah.
I broke it down into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 categories. Well, 6 kind of things how they compare to each other. The first one is luring with treats. In Hansel and Gretel, the witch uses a house made of candy and sweets to lure the siblings into a trap. Similarly, the candy lady offers candy to attract children, often leaving it in places they frequent or directly handle it. Makes sense?
Yeah.
That's probably a good comparison. Both tales weaponize a child's innocence of sweets, turning something joyful into bait. So number 2 is the predatory adult figure. How, you say figure.
I do. Kendra gets on me all the time about
Marietta gets on me all the
You
time
say it
because I
too.
say figure.
Because she told me, she's like,
Yeah.
Mike says it the same way
Yes.
you say it.
My wife has gotten on me so much for saying it. I avoid saying that word at all costs because I don't know how to say it anymore.
I don't either, so yeah.
Like, I'll be saying something to her, and I'll stop. When I get to it, I'll stop, and I'll just say, figure.
Yeah, so you gotta like really
Figure.
figure.
Yeah.
You really gotta. She's on me all the time about it.
Yeah, it's a figure.
I think the
Deal
one
with that.
episode, like, it might have been like Hat Man or something. Like, that word was said so much, and she was just on me about it.
Yeah. I edited it, and I heard it, and I looked at my wife and said, I don't see the problem here.
Yeah,
It's,
that's how you say it.
yeah, it's what it is. So, a predatory adult figure.
Said it right.
Did I say it right?
Oh, I mean, you said it like
Oh,
I said
yeah.
it. Like that's
I said it with an F, like Corey. It's supposed to be figure, but
figure.
so the witch in Hansel and Gretel and the candy lady are both predatory figures that exploit. I can't. Every time I say it now, I think of it. Figures
Yeah.
who exploit trust and innocence. They appear as maternal or harmless at first, but reveal sinister intentions. Both figures resemble the dangers of trusting strangers or straying too far from home. So number 3 is disappearance and isolation. In Hansel and Gretel, the children are lost in the forest. Isolated and vulnerable, in the Candy Lady story, children mysteriously vanish after receiving her sweets, leaving no trace behind. The isolation of the forest mirrors the rural Texas settings of the Candy Lady legend, emphasizing the helplessness of the victims. Number 4 is themes, and this is one that I can get behind. Themes of cannibalism and consumption.
Yeah, we both talked about that today, so we're in agreement with that.
Yeah.
So
Kids taste yummy.
humans.
Oh, yeah, humans, not children. The witch and Hansel and Gretel intend to fatten up the children to create better marbling and eat them, a grotesque act of consumption. While the Candy Lady doesn't explicitly engage in cannibalism, her legend often implies the sinister fate of children she abducts, feeding on their fears or lives in a metaphoric sense. So the moral lesson, both stories serve as a cautionary tale. Hansel and Gretel warns against wandering away from home and trusting strangers, while the Candy Lady legend warns children and their parents to be vigilant and cautious of unfamiliar kindness.
You know, I get it because honestly, if like some creep came up to me and was like, "Hey, you want some beer?" Like, I'm gonna follow them. You know, like if we take this into like
You did tell me that story when you were at the Home Run Derby in
I don't like
D.C.
to talk about that.
You just followed some guys.
We did. We a couple times. Uber, their apartment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to, if you're gonna take full advantage of Corey, you just need beer. It's super easy.
Yeah.
He's cheaper than a hooker.
don't
Trust me. Bush Light.
have any sours though.
Much, yeah.
Yeah.
Just Bush lattes. That's all he needs.
Yeah. Bush lattes, and I'm your friend.
And the cultural evolution. Hansel and Gretel is a century-old European fairy tale evolving through the oral tradition.
Oral?
To highlight survival in harsh times, the Candy Lady, while newer, fits into American folklore, influenced by real fears of child abduction in the early 20th century. Both stories are shaped by the anxieties of their respective eras, but resonate universally as stories of childhood peril. So that's why I thought that it was kind of like, it was an interesting comparison.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like, what if, and this is just all in my head, no research done on this at all.
Oh God.
Yeah. So what if when Clara Crane, like there was a gap between the time where her daughter was killed and her husband was murdered by her.
Yeah.
Right? There's like 2 years there. What if she got like super in to some sort of witchcraft? Because it makes total sense that she would get into some form of witchcraft because she would try and figure out how to resurrect her daughter back
Yeah.
So in that witchcraft would make her just, I don't know. I feel like you dive into, and I understand there's like the modern like witches and stuff like that are just like, I don't know, they just love the earth and stuff like that. It's more like the modern witch thing. But I'm talking like sinister witches, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like want to eat your children, want to eat your babies witches. So what if through all this, she went to this asylum and all she was doing is just like practicing her craft? Wouldn't like an insane, you figure out
Yeah.
how like overcrowded these insane asylums are. Seem like it'd be a perfect place to just like practice it, just like,
because nobody's going to think twice about what you're doing.
no, you can do anything. You can just mumble. You can just sit over there and just chant like "Hotty, hotty, holy, hotty," and you're like summoning Satan, but people won't even pay attention.
She could have been building a cult.
She could have been. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There are a lot of theories here. There's a lot to unravel, but really, that's all I have.
You know, if she was, too bad this didn't happen in like the 1970s, because then she would have saw the movie Pet Sematary.
I know. I thought of that. Like that. Like she really gives me like Pet Sematary vibes.
Yeah,
that she
what I
was.
was thinking,
Yeah,
yeah.
that she was gonna go like bury that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for the episode. For the
I liked
Candy
it. That was
Lady.
good.
Yeah. So you ready?
Ready for the
Folklore
score. All right, folks. So Mike and I figured out our folklore.
What the hell was that? Wait, hey, yeah, how y'all doing here? What is Corey? I'm bringing you back in here. Here we go. Like an auctioneer over here.
All right. So go ahead and scratch that.
No way.
We're back for the folklore score.
He nailed it, folks. He nailed it.
All right, let's just get down to business here. Folklore score, what'd you get?
I got a 23.
Out of 21.
Yeah, which puts it at 44.
44.
Which that's our first 40s, right?
No, we've had a bunch.
Oh, I thought
Last
we were.
week's was a 42.
Oh, damn. Ah, damn.
Like Hide Behind was a 40-something.
Damn.
What's the other one? The
Haunchyville.
Haunchyville was 40-something, I think.
The old cat was 40
The
something.
Old Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't had any 30s yet.
No, but I think we're gonna hit. We're just gonna hit lower scores now that we've done more, because there's like a certain standard we need to keep.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like Krampus really earned his like spot up top there.
He did.
I cannot believe we went a whole episode with Corey not mentioning Krampus.
I didn't mention Krampus?
Not once.
Are you sure?
I'm positive, because I've been waiting. I have been waiting. All right, so we'll dive into our score quick. So Corey, what'd you have for spookiness?
I gave spookiness a 4.
I gave it a 5. I thought it was moderately spooky.
And I put mildly creepy, gives a slight chill.
Historical cultural significance?
I gave it a 3.
Give it a 2. I think we're on the same page.
Just because it
Probably
was
there.
just probably a portion of Texas.
Yeah. Believability. I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 6.
And I think just because of like the whole Clara Crane
Yeah.
story. So there's like a real person you could
That's
actually
true,
put
yeah.
behind this story to legitimize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Uniqueness?
I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 6. I thought it was a little more unique than maybe some of the other stories. I did think the whole story was, it just reminded me a lot of The Hook Man though, but for children instead of teenagers.
And I guess I gave it a 4 just because like some elements of the story seemed familiar to me, with just a bunch of other legends and stuff that are out there.
Yeah.
A lot of, different, even like true crimes and this and that. There's a lot of that that's already out there, so it was, pretty familiar, so I gave it a 4.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then for threat level, I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 4.
I feel like if you're over 4 foot tall, you don't gotta feel too threatened. Although, I can be bought with candy. I realized that at work the other day, that how easily I can be bought with food. You know how there's like always like the jokes online about like, in lieu of raise, you're getting a pizza party. Well, the other day, like our boss came out and he brought us pizza and told us that, yeah, you were supposed to work overtime this week, but that got canceled, so you can't work it. So I brought you guys pizza. And as I was eating the pizza, I just realized I'm all right with this. This is cool. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely be bought.
Yeah.
So yeah, 44. 44 for the candy lady. And that will actually be, this will be the end of the year for us.
Yeah.
So, first year in the books. 2024. I keep thinking we're in 2023, and we're at like the end of 2024.
Yeah.
But I still think, like, I had to sign a check the other day, and it's like 2020, and I had to turn around and look at the calendar because I don't do that much,
Checks
or just anything with dates on it hardly at all with my job. So yeah, so we're entering 2025. We got big things planned for 2025.
Big things.
Big things. Should we tell them what we're going to do in January quick?
Sure.
Yeah, you got to say the word because I can't say it.
Paranuary.
You guys catch that? You ready for Mike to say it? Nope, I'm not going to do it. Paranuary.
Yeah.
I did it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna dive into the paranormal in January.
It's gonna be fun.
It is gonna be fun. Should we drop our next topic? I feel like you're pretty much all researched.
Oh,
so we
it's
can drop
done.
it.
We're ready to roll.
Yeah, we're ready to roll. So what do you got coming next?
We're gonna be going after some mimics
Mimics.
and digging a little bit into the doppelgangers.
Ooh. I wonder what I bet you my doppelganger is one good-looking son of a bitch. He's got to be. Anyways, with that, I think make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, Needles, MySpace.
Mike likes thread needles.
MySpace,
we're big on MySpace.
Zanga.
Yeah.
All those. Just follow us on all those.
Yeah.
Mostly Facebook and Instagram is where you're going to find us. And with that, I am Crack Daddy Mike, and I'm out of here.
BK Corey.
Later.
Mike's dumb.
You didn't catch it. You missed it again?
What?
Corey, stupid.